Alright, so at our clinic we don't normally do our own cultured sensitivities. We usually send them out to a lab and get those results back, usually within about a week or so. We were able to obtain a agar dish, but unfortunately right now I don't really have anyone that needs a culture at this very moment. So something that we know will grow some bacteria for us is poop. So I'm going to plate a fecal sample today for my culture and sensitivity. Normally this is our send out swabs and they're sterile, so I would stick this in. Normally, it's usually a wound or an ear, so you would kind of stick it into the wound or the ear and kind of wiggle it around. So I'm going to go stick it into the stool sample. It's pretty fresh, and kind of wiggle it around a little bit here. Alright, if I was sending this out to the lab, I would stick this into this. Carefully not to contaminate it with anything else so that we can be sure the bacteria sample we have is from what we are wanting to have cultured specifically. Alright, so here I have my agar plate. Now I take this sample and you kind of just do some zigzag patterns and fill up the whole plate. And then we turn it and we plate it like this. And you just kind of fill it up with all those zigzags. I'm going to do another line here. Alright, and then you would just kind of lay this somewhere and allow it to incubate to grow undisturbed for about 24 hours, and then record your growth the next day. And if you have any bacterial colonies, then we will put our antibiotic disc on there. And I'm going to write who this belongs to and date it, and put a time on it. And I'm going to lay this somewhere safe so that it can grow. Okay guys, so this is our culture and sensitivity plate, agar plate, and we do have some growth on here, and of course it does have a pungent smell, which isn't too surprising since we cultured a fecal sample. It is kind of punctiform in growth pattern, and they're just bare, they're kind of flat, and the margin is even or entire, mostly. And most likely the bacteria that is grown on this colony is E. coli because it is a fecal sample. This is kind of a chart of the descriptions that you use to describe bacterial colony growth. And I have some tetracycline disc that I can place in here into the bacterial colonies. This is the only type of disc I have, unfortunately. Alright, so we got 2 discs that have fallen in here. I don't have access to an incubator. Most incubation is at 98.6 or 37 degrees Celsius, 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. A lot of times you do it for about a week to see if it's sensitive to the drug that you're testing. If you have a positive response, you usually have a ring around the disc where there's no bacteria. And based on how big of a distance you have is how effective it usually is. But unfortunately I do not have an incubator, and also running out of time from when I got my agar plates to successfully do a sensitivity test. But that's the basics of what you do for a culture and sensitivity.